Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak. I am Akanksha Swaroop. Now, the vile insensitivity of the Arjikar Medical Hospital staff has been exposed. These audio clips, a total of 3 phone calls spanning over 180 seconds, unravel an alleged beat. First, the hospital's assistant superintendent claims that the victim was unwell. Then he lies that she has been moved to the general ward and eventually claims that she has committed suicide. Hospital authorities have tried to deflect the blame of a cover-up. They say the lies were meant to soften the blow. It is clear from both the audio clips that the doctor's parents repeatedly insisted on knowing about Abhya's condition. But the authorities kept dodging their questions by saying only a doctor can tell them about the whole scenario. Moreover, they throw light on the parents' statement that the hospital authorities informed them how their daughters has died of suicide and how they did not let them see her body for at least 3 hours after they reached the hospital. Now that Abhya's parents are vindicated, the question we are asking, is this a cover-up bid on record? First up, let's also look at the sensational audio tapes accessed by CNN News 18 between our authorities and Abhya's parents on 9th of August. In 3 back-to-back phone calls, we see a clear attempt to mislead Abhya's parents on 9th of August. The Arjikar hospital lied to the parents saying she is not well. That was the first lie. The Arjikar hospital authorities also said in the phone call that she was not in a very good condition and that the assistant superintendent in fact kept on asking the parents to come quickly so that the doctors could inform them about their daughter's condition. The authorities asked the parents to meet the chest medicine head of department who could give more clarity on her condition. The assistant superintendent also claimed that she was shifted to the emergency ward. Another lie that was peddled by the hospital staff when she was actually raped and murdered brutally. And the biggest cover-up bid was when the hospital told Abhya's parents that their daughter had died of suicide and that they must come quickly. We at CNN News 18 have already shown you evidence of the corruption and complicity associated with the Arjikar College authorities and the former principal Sandeep Ghosh. Now, the audio tapes prove a deliberate bid to mislead Abhya's parents, and that has also been proven through these audio clips. There's an attempt to cover up which has been proven. Suicide lies to shield the offence has also been proven. Hospital's deceit and complicity has been proven. And West Bengal's BJP chief now in the latest move has written to the governor complaining against Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee issuing a threat against the Bharatiya Janata Party yesterday. In a letter to the governor, Shukanta Majumdar has written that a blatant endorsement of revenge politics has been done by the Bengal Chief Minister. Inflammatory remarks from highest office have been passed. Not the voice of a person in a constitutional position. That's what Shukanta Majumdar shot in that letter. And that a speech is a rhetoric of anti-nationalism. This is an attempt to threaten, incite violence and sow hatred. That's what Shukanta Majumdar has gone on to claim in that letter to the governor. She does not merit holding such an important office. It also says that the Chief Minister must resign immediately. The Chief Minister's stance jeopardizes safety of West Bengal citizens, and that is why on the Kolkata doctor's death and rape case, as far as the clincher of the Arjikar case is concerned, the question we are asking today, is the cover-up bid now on record, considering those phone calls have been accessed as well?
ওনার অবস্থা খুবই খারাপ আপনি যতটা তাড়াতাড়ি পারবেন চলে আসুন কে আমরা এমার্জেন্সিতে নিয়ে এসেছি আপনারা আসুন এসে যোগাযোগ করুন হ্যাঁ শুনুন আপনাকে তখন বারবার বলছিলাম ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে যে আপনার মেয়ে উনি সুসাইড করেছেন হয়তো বা কিছু মারা গেছেন
बंगाल में लॉ एंड ऑर्डर मेंटेन करने के लिए जो करना चाहिए आप करिए। बंगाल की जनता बहुत आज से आपकी तरफ देख रहा है। गवर्नर साहब आज दिल्ली जा रहे हैं।
Right, and with that, let me now introduce our esteemed panelists. I'm joined in by Dr. Shashi Panja, who is the Minister for Women and Child Development and Social Welfare with the government of West Bengal. I'm also joined in by Ms. Shatrupa, who is the spokesperson for Bengal BJP. Dr. Panja, thank you for joining in. If I could begin with you, first the lie that the victim's severely ill, then she's been moved to the emergency ward and eventually calling it suicide. Does this not indicate an alleged cover-up by hospital authorities, and what does it speak of the government when we know that the portfolios of health and home directly report to the Chief Minister?
Good evening. Whoever has uttered these statements, in the three phone calls has to take responsibility for the statements that they have, or the conversation they have had with the parents. This is one. The procedural lapses which are being mentioned, I think the Supreme Court is hearing this case, and Supreme Court, as you know, has taken suo motu cognizance, and both stakeholders, besides the other organizations of doctors, are presenting their case in Supreme Court, and Supreme Court CBI is doing the investigation, and let CBI mention all the lapses which have taken. They have to be accountable, and in fact, for that matter, during the course of the investigation which CBI is also doing over the past almost 12-14 days, the former principal has been called. There's been interrogation, not only him, the others relevant to this investigation are being called. So they have questions to answer, and we are waiting for these answers to be made public again by the CBI's submission in court on 5th of September.
Dr. Panja, you do agree that there have been severe glaring lapses on part of the hospital authorities, considering the HOD of chest medicine at the Arjikar Medical College first stated that the phone call that went to the parents of Abhaya was from the deputy superintendent and not the assistant superintendent, whereas in reality it was the assistant superintendent. This is just the beginning that I am highlighting to you right now.
Ma'am, really, it will be difficult for me to say, to substantiate either of them, because obviously we were not there, or we are not witness to all that, and I think this all comes within the purview of the case diaries or whatever the CBI, the details that CBI is picking up, and the interrogation that they are doing. So I think we need to reserve and wait for them to come out with the findings and submit that in court. That is very important. It is difficult for you and me to come to any conclusions, because I'll tell you why. There have been so many conclusions already on this case. It is very unfortunate. So I think details need to be known, and we are with the grieving parents. We are also in grief, and we will take nothing. We will not do anything to defend such kind of crime, and we will not try to cover up at all.
Doctor, thank you, but do you not think that this is vile enough and extremely insensitive? Shatrupa, I'd like to bring you in on this aspect. While we do understand that the matter is sub judice, but the fact of the matter, all those audio clips go on to indicate the kind of insensitivity that has been exercised by the hospital authorities. Don't you think that this was not to soften the blow on the parents? It's rather ended up coming across as extremely insensitive and dishonest.
Akanksha, I really say this with a very heavy heart, that we stand vindicated. We, as in not only BJP, all the junior doctors who were her friends, who were her colleagues, they've been constantly saying these very things, that when the call went from the hospital authorities, whoever it was, and I would like to thank Dr. Shashi Panja for at least not insensitively dismissing it as AI. That is what the Chief Minister is constantly doing. Everything, everywhere around is AI. Now, I don't know, again, I agree with Dr. Panja, that we don't know the authenticity of the tapes, and it is of the recording, and it is entirely up to CBI to verify it. But what I've heard constantly, I mean, on your channel, and since it's being circulated everywhere, one thing is very evident: whoever has called, it is the complete lack of basic sensitivity. Whoever called, you're calling up the parents of a person who has died, maybe your colleague, maybe your somebody who's junior, maybe your friend. I mean, we don't even call up a stranger and talk about somebody's death in this kind of a tone. So yes, here again, I would say that everything points towards Archikor. And again, why we are blaming Mamata Banerjee is because she should have known. I'm not saying that she should have known about this death and the murder and the rape, but this girl, it is not, it's not an act of lust which just happened on some field and the body was hidden. She was on duty. This girl was a doctor in a government hospital on duty, during in the safest possible place for a working woman. She was in the hospital, a government hospital, which is supposed to be run by the health ministry. So the health minister may not know the details, fine. But the fact that Dr. Shondit Ghosh, I mean, he's apparently no longer a doctor now, but the fact that he was to be blamed, not this time, even previously. I think you have already got the footage of how he was chased out by students. And Mamata Banerjee was in Spain then. The moment she came back, she again reinstated him. So there were warnings which the Chief Minister chose to ignore. You have to understand that this is not one incident which has happened in the 13 years. No, there has been a long series of build-up. Basic CCTV cameras were not there. As a woman Chief Minister, she should have at least ensured that there are so many women doctors. I mean, from Dr. Kadambini Devi, the first doctor that West Bengal gave to the rest of the world. We should have ensured better working facilities in government hospitals.
I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that. No, but let me just stick to Abhaya's case right now. And Dr. Panja, when you talk about from the moment the information that the victim is no more, when it was being disseminated to the parents, to the destruction of evidence, to the inability to protect the crime scene, the transfer of Sandeep Ghosh, that too to another prestigious medical institution, the delay in filing of the FIR, who's to be blamed? Is it just the RG medical authorities? Is it just the Kolkata police? Or is it the administration under the government of Mamata Banerjee?
Akanksha, 4 of the 5 points that you mentioned is something which the Supreme Court will hear and they have to conclude. You and me cannot conclude.
No, we're
Secondly,
not. My job, Dr. Panja, my job is to
it's difficult to discuss this, ma'am.
Yes, I'm raising the same.
You can raise questions, ma'am.
I'm raising the same very questions
we cannot
which
discuss
have been
this.
raised at the Supreme Court, Dr. Panja. I'm just doing my job, and I'm raising the same questions that have already been addressed by the Supreme Court.
No, these are the same questions if Supreme Court has asked. We have seen the last hearing and we've seen the printed whatever they have concluded on that day. We've seen all that, their observations as reflected in that day's summary of things, and that the hearing will be again on 5th of September, which is a long date that they had given. Chief Minister Shaturipadi was mentioning, partially I disagree with her because it's difficult to judge somebody's conduct and behavior, of so many government employees that they are. It's something which should come from us. Also, to take credit as a political parties, whichever, have no say in this because this is an investigation which CBI will do. Here is a crime which should not happen. It is a tragedy, and Kolkata police did some arrests, and the State Council will further submit whatever Kolkata police did, and of course reports of the vandalism of 14. This is what the CPI and the CBI has to submit, what is the status of the investigation. And also we want to tell our doctors who are protesting that Mamata Banerjee has stood by their cause. It is so unfortunate that her speech yesterday will be distorted in this fashion. There is no veiled threat. She is just requesting doctors if they could resume work, and that she is with the doctors and we are waiting for justice, and that this government is convening urgent
But Dr.
legislative
Panja,
session
I
on
understand.
Monday,
She's
coming
gone
Monday,
on record
Tuesday,
to make
for
that
for the
clarification, Dr. Panja. She's made that clarification, but
You
nobody
need-
has
yes.
been able to put into perspective why Mamata Banerjee would say junior doctors' future will be ruined if FIRs are filed. They will not
no,
get
that
passport
is
and visa.
yes, because
Why in fact pose a
that's because a
situation
Supreme
where
Court-
an FIR may be lodged? My question is very simple. Why should
Akanksha,
FIRs be lodged against
Akanksha,
peacefully
my answer
protesting
is also
doctors?
very simple. No, because that has happened in Delhi. You see, Supreme Court has also requested the doctors to resume work in the last hearing that they had. And there are instances in various states where the doctors who have not yet resumed work, some kind of action has been taken. What she has just clarified is, I am not taking any action. Why don't you wait and see what she is going to do? She is with the cause. She is merely requesting, because health services are so very important, and when you look forward to the services health offered by the government hospitals, that's all. It should not be blown out of proportion and not be distorted. As you said,
All right.
there should be no role of politics in this.
All right, Shatrupa, the BJP has clearly taken to social media and called it a veiled threat because it's accompanied with the term FIRs being lodged, passports and visas not, being provided if there are FIRs being lodged. Why is the BJP seeing this as a veiled threat?
Firstly, Akanksha, I wanted to thank you at the very beginning of the show for taking out the focus from what the Trinamool wants it to be, like, BJP is politicizing and BJP is out on the road vandalizing. Thank you for bringing the focus back on the actual situation. And while on that, I wanted to again remind you that this is a deliberate attempt to make sure that the girl is nowhere on the scene, so that the whole situation in fiasco in Arjika can be covered up. The Chief Minister is well aware of this. So therefore, she, apart from doing all that, the covering up that she's been doing, like removing Shandip Ghosh from there and not handing him over to the police, this is most significant. CBI came in much later. Shandip Ghosh should have been the first one to be questioned by the police. No, he was removed from there, planted in another equally prestigious hospital. Now, after so many days, she comes onto a students' forum and look at the totality of what she's saying. She says that BJP is trying to rock her seat and burn Bengal. No, we are not trying to rock anything, neither are we burning our motherland. No way, we are not doing all that. We are, contrary to what Shashidi thinks, we are the political party which has been chosen by 2 crore 30 lakh people to sit in opposition. So whether they like it or not, Trinamool will have to keep on hearing our shouts of opposition. Secondly, Chief Minister goes on record saying, and she said this in a public forum, that if Modi Babu, if you tell your people in West Bengal to rock my seat, I will go and rock your seat and burn Bengal. What? She's the Chief Minister of West Bengal. She should be used to these kind of threats. Or, I mean, if she thinks they are threats, we are not threatening. We are constantly saying, resign, Mamata. We never said that we want to come. That is the people's decision, who they want to come into. Right.
All right. I see Dr. Panja wants to make a point. Dr. Panja.
Let me finish the sentence.
Okay.
Just let me finish the sentence. Apart from that, she is not only given a veiled threat to doctors, what you have very correctly said, she has even got hold of the entire Northeast, that everything will burn, urging Hemanta Biswa Sharma, the Chief Minister of Assam, to say, how dare you, Didi? So this is not just BJP West Bengal. She is so insecure. The Chief Minister of West Bengal is so insecure. Having been in opposition for so many years, she should be knowing. I mean, she would have been, had the cards been opposite, had the cards been different, she would have been the first person to sit in Donna.
All right. You made your point. Dr. Panja, it's being called extremely unconstitutional when a sitting chief minister launches a threat like the national capital of the country will burn if the government in Bengal is toppled. And of course, as Shatrupa ji was also highlighting, that the threat has not just been launched against Delhi, but
I've
also various other states.
Akanksha, you too have limited time. Well, this is like BJP seeing the rope and imagining it to be a snake. You see, coming from a party, and I hope I can continue uninterrupted, inflammatory statements, provocative statements come from BJP. Remember who said goli maro dash 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 desh ke gaddaro ko? You remember, na? Keep bearing in mind, because history also tells you the identity and the character of a political party. What has Kolkata and Bengal witnessed over the past 2 days? We have seen a very violent kind of demonstration by the BJP. We have seen violent protests by them. This is a politically decimated party, BJP, decimated by the popular verdict of the people of Bengal. Now, this is what happens when they react and blow statements out of proportion. Didi has again clarified this. You have to understand, Bengal is a cosmopolitan place, cutting across all religions, all languages, all caste, creed, and people belonging to various states work here, stay here. So when they try to divide us, this would have an impact on the neighboring states too. That is what Didi is saying. You see, there is a concerted effort to marginalize Bengal and to penalize Bengal, to target Bengal. It is more than out in the open. Why do you think Didi won the verdict even in this 2024 elections, despite such a campaign, malicious campaign, nefarious campaign of the BJP?
Let's hear what Shatrupa has to say.
And appreciate that.
Let's hear what Shatrupa has to say. Okay.
Again,
there are two, Akanksha, just one. There are two laws. There are two laws which are waiting to chase the violent demonstration of the BJP and all that fake leaders who said they were Chhatro and students. There is one law, West Bengal Maintenance of Public Order Act, which was passed in 2023. Another, West Bengal Prevention of Defacement of Property. This was also to punish all these people who have damaged public and individual property and have injured policemen on duty.
The questions are also being raised at the Trinamool
Well, they will
Congress.
face the consequences.
Okay, so if you're saying that one of the BJP leaders, Priyanku Pandey's vehicle is being attacked, where his driver gets grievously injured, is he facing consequences? That too in the presence, when the ACP is present over there, one of the goons comes and attacks the car. Is this a consequence where somebody can even lose their life? Shatrupa ji, please go ahead.
Akanksha, I denounce violence of any kind, and again I want to reiterate that the student agitation was an agitation called by students. Like on the 14th, and the gathering was called by women, but everybody was there. So it is no point getting into the argument that how many students and how many not students. Nobody said that non-students can go. The only condition that the students had was whoever wants to come, don't bring your political flags. Nobody brought their political flag. Now, because Dr. Shashi Pandya ji is very nicely elucidating number of leaders in the National Forum who have gone violent, allow me to counter that with the likes of Udayan Guho and by the likes of Abhishek Banerjee himself. Few years back, when we were actually officially on the streets, Abhishek Banerjee went on record saying the police should have opened fire. I mean, this is the kind of violent state that we are living in West Bengal. Akanksha, you're well aware that right now police are sending out summons to who? To world-class heart surgeons like Dr. Kumar.
All right. I'm running short of time. Let's quickly run.
I can answer that.
I'm running short of time.
Why are they being called? Because they incited violence. Because they incited violence, and they said there will be fire, there will be bullets. Last, they have said they want dead bodies. They want dead bodies for the agitation to be successful. BJP is on record. Their karyakartas are being picked up because of the provocation. You have provoked. You cannot backtrack. You cannot backtrack. You have provoked them. The situation has gone out of control. BJP provokes, incites, and cannot control. It cannot be allowed. You cannot injure policemen. You cannot have violent demonstrations.
No, Shachiti. No matter how much you shout, I will keep out-shouting you. You have the likes of Udayan Guho, who's ruling North Bengal and who's threatening every single person. He got into fisticuffs with the sitting minister there. What are you talking?
Dr. Pandya, no, Shatrupa ji, please calm down. Please calm down. We cannot conduct a discussion if you're going to speak over each other. Dr. Panja, I have a question for the Women and Child Development Ministry as well, because the Union Minister of Women and Child Development Ministry,
Yes.
Annapurna Devi, has said that 123 fast court tracks, which also includes 20 POXO courts themselves. All these schemes, when it comes to even the emergency helplines, are not being implemented. The centre has been pushing them, but it is the state which is declining this when the centre is even willing to bear the cost of these measures. I'd like your thoughts.
Akanksha, yes, Akanksha, we have fast track courts for women. Allow me to complete.
Yes, please.
We have POXO for children's courts for the POXO. We have Mahila Thanas. Our designated police officers are there who are going to look at these cases related to crimes against women in those thanas which are not Mahila Thanas. Akanksha, ask this question to the Union Minister, Honorable. Why your former predecessor, did not visit Manipur before asking other questions? Why they didn't go to Hathras? Why did they allow Brij Bhushan Saran Singh to continue as an MP? Ask the predecessor, the Women and Child Development Minister, who lost out in elections for her arrogance, why she didn't do all this. It's very easy to flag. How many faster we can continue this with numbers. I can also tell you NCRB had declared Kolkata to be the safest city for 3 years. So this is happening. Look at the rapes all over the country. Let's discuss that. Why is there a selective agenda to come and attack Bengal? Why don't the commission?
Dr. Panja, I'm very much going. No, Shatrupaji, I'm going to take that rebuttal from you. But Dr. Panja, my question remains unanswered because 123 fast track courts, that also includes these POXO courts, they've been allocated, but they've not been implemented. So it's wrong to say that we have these courts whereas they are waiting to be implemented.
No, this is wrong. That's wrong information.
So you're saying that the Union Minister is peddling wrong information. You're saying the Union Minister is peddling wrong information.
Yes, the children's court, POXO courts are already there. Fast track courts for women are already there. What are you talking, man?
No, but they're saying that the centre has allocated.
But to say there's nothing out there.
No, but this
Come
is.
on, ma'am. The centre
what
doesn't allocate our funds in time. You know more than that.
All right.
West Bengal is never allocated funds. There's always constant deprivation which we are fighting against.
All right, Shatrupaji, this has been the major charge coming in from the state governments, that whether it is the crumbling health infrastructure in all those states which are ruled by the opposition, the fact of the matter is that they are deprived of funds, and that is what is leading to this plight.
Akansha, firstly, funds crunch is something that Trinamool keeps crying hoarse about, but the finance minister has gone on record several times saying that maximum amount of funds are released to West Bengal. All central government is asking for is a UC, utilization certificate, which somehow these people cannot create out of their false documents. Now, as far as NCRB is concerned, I think by now the whole country knows that NCRB is dependent on the number of reports which go in. Now, here in West Bengal, most of the time, police are not even willing to take a rape FIR.
All right, Dr. Panja,
Number two, just Annapurna Devi's letter. Annapurna Devi did not write a proactive letter, and just because of, she has a lot of time to write to the Chief Minister of West Bengal, she didn't do that. The Chief Minister, out of her concern for against women's crimes, she wrote to the Prime Minister of India. The Prime Minister forwarded the letter to Annapurna Devi, who's the minister in charge for Women and Children's Affairs. So she has written a very comprehensive note saying that these are the laws which are already given by the Parliament of India, and these are the measures that we have expected West Bengal government to do.
Let's give Dr. Panja the time to explain. And Dr. Panja, I'm going to close with your thoughts, and before I do that, let's also make an appeal to the parents, the grieving parents of the victim. I have a reaction coming in from them. They've said that whatever Mamata Banerjee said yesterday saddened us. What does the family not want justice mean? The whole country is demanding justice for our daughter, and we want justice. How is this not possible? Well, whoever says whatever, we cannot explain our pain to anyone. Before we get into the politics of this and abstain from whataboutery, but let's also, Dr. Panja, send out a message to the parents of the victim?
No, appreciate the grief that they are going through. We are all in this grief, and we hope we can gather their confidence in us. We are trying. We've tried our best, and we will. The fallacies or lapses should not have happened. But let's wait for Supreme Court to hear us out, hear everybody out, and really we are also asking justice and for early conclusion of the case, which is now in the hands of the CBI, and we are with the grieving parents.
All right. Many thanks to you, Dr. Panja and Shatrupaji, for joining in on Plain Speak. Thoroughly appreciate your insights. And with that, it's time to slip into a quick break. But after the break, we'll be talking about Jamaat-e-Islami, an outfit which was banned so far in Bangladesh, but that ban has been uplifted and by the interim government of Bangladesh. Remember, that ban had been imposed by the Sheikh Hasina government, has now been revoked by the new Bangladeshi government. Will this lead to a churn in the neighborhood? We'll be getting you a CNN News 18 exclusive interview, but after a quick break. Stay tuned.